Hey, what's up guys? Teka lang ha. Good evening everyone. So, kamusta naman yung audio? Okay ba? Hopefully the audio is okay. And clear naman sana. Kasi medyo nagkakaproblema ako. Nag-disconnect kasi yung mic ko every now and then. Check ko lang ulit. Parang ang lapit ng camera. Okay. Teka. Yo, what's up guys? Good evening. Happy to have you guys here. Back for another lesson sa Investa-U. Alright, so guys, paturo naman, share natin yung stream so we can reach more people. We'll start in mga 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, wait lang. Okay, shout out to everyone watching tonight. Thank you for spending your Sunday evening with me. So, tomorrow pala, tama ba? Hindi ako nagkakamali. Tomorrow is a holiday. So, yung charting session natin, I'll probably do it tomorrow. Oh, come on. Before I start, say hi. I'm gonna start na. Say hi to everyone. You have to stay in the camera. Oh, say hi. Guys, you remember Toma Trader Jr. Say hi.
Yeah. Hi.
What do you want to say to everyone from Investa University?
You must subscribe to my brother's channel and to every Investagram. Leave a comment, like, and share the video to your friends.
Yon, thanks ka. So guys, narinig nyo na. Di yung planado. Sabi niya, subscribe to the Investa YouTube channel. It's called Investa TV, Kyle.
Okay.
So subscribe kayo sa Investa TV. Okay, si bye na. I'm gonna start.
Bye.
Okay. Close the door. Thank you. Okay. So, charting session, we'll probably do it tomorrow evening. Pati trading cup updates tomorrow evening na. But for today, I'm going to be discussing di na ako guys, what do you call this? Music since medyo sabog ata siya. But yeah. So, in this week's lesson, I'm going to be talking about trader's profile, how to find the strategy that works for you. And this is parang ano siya, it's a prerequisite to the next lessons, which is now going to focus on trading systems, diba? But before we can decide kung ano nga bang trading system yung tama para sa atin, kung ano nga ba yung strategy para sa atin, we need to first know ourselves, right? Know ourselves as a trader, as a person. And it might sound, at first, nung narinig ko din na, bakit kailangan ko makilala sa sarili ko? Kilala ko, ano relasyon nun sa trading? Kilala ko naman sa sarili ko. Parang, ito ako, diba? I'm Paulo. So, mahilig ako mag-basketball. Mahilig ako magbasa. So, ano ba relate? Diba? Ng knowing myself on a dati kasi mababaw yung level ko yun eh. But, ano yung relasyon ng knowing myself on a deeper level that can further help my trading? And this is going to be, again, a prerequisite. So medyo this is not going to be a super long 2-hour lesson. And if you guys, hopefully you guys are able to watch yung lesson si Berio ni JC on risk management. Sobrang juicy nun. Diba? Sobrang malaman. Nagulat din ako na ganun kalaman yung tinuro nila. Right? As in, nagulat ako 2 hours, 3 hours. So sobrang high level risk management lessons yun. Whether it's in yung basic na pag-cut loss or pag-advance sa pagdating sa sizing. And I believe si Berio nagturo din ng psychology of risk management na live din. So solid. Alam ko masama pa pakiramdam ni Berio nun. So lahat tayo dedicated dito. Sabi ni Boy Olin, haba ng buhok ko. Oo nga eh. Nahirapan na nga ako. Gusto ko na magpakalbo ulit eh. masyado na mahaba. But anyway, let's start. So, trader's profile, how to find a strategy that works for you. So, this lesson is going to be more on me sharing with you guys what I've learned, diba, from a lot of people, from a lot of books, diba, people like JC, people like Javi, people like Matt Flores, Barry Ken, who have helped me throughout my trading journey. So, there's really two ways or two steps to finding the right strategy. Number one, as I've already mentioned previously, you need to know yourself. Diba? You need to know yourself, and I'll explain more on that later. Ang mga headlines mo. Number two is you need to taste each strategy. Diba? So let's move forward. Diba? So, bakit kailangan kilala natin yung sarili natin? Diba? So, to know yourself, you need to consider the following things. Diba? Number one, ano nga ba yung goals or objectives mo kung bakit ka nga ba nasa stock market? Why are you trading? Why are you investing? Because you can't really work towards something if, number one, you don't have a goal, you don't have a vision in mind, diba? Wala naman tama, wala naman mali. If your goal is just to beat, the PSEI year in and year out, edi that's a very decent goal. If your goal is to grow a fund for your retirement or grow a fund, let's say bata ka pa and then you're growing a fund for retirement, or say medyo nagkaka-family ka na, you're trying to trade to hopefully supply for the education of your children, or if you're just going for wealth maximization or wealth preservation, wealth maximization for future generations of your family, or if your objective is to be isang malupit na trader na year in year out 50% yung year to date, 30 to 50 to 100%, pwede, wala naman mali, but it's really important to have set goals, diba, that you're looking to achieve. Right? Kasi without goals, there's nothing to work towards. Diba? Next is you need to identify a time horizon. You need to know if, short-term trader ka ba? Na may panahon ka para bantayan yung markets lagi? Diba? Short-term ka ba na you base a lot of your decisions on intraday time frames, or mabilis ka lang magbenta, parang quick momentum, quickie plays lang, 8, 10, 12%, masaya ka na. Or medyo medium-term holder ka ba na you're going for the trend, di ba? MA20, MA50, you're looking for a short-term trend follow, holding it for 3, 6, 9 months, or long-term. When I say short-term, guys, di lang yan intraday. I mean, pwedeng weeks, pwedeng a few months. Yun yung definition ko nun eh. I say medium term. I would even include a year or a year and a half in medium term na hold. Kasi when we say now na long term, na mas passive ka, bigger trend na habol mo, parang bigger moving average, MA200, I would say that's a 2, 3, 4, 5 year hold. Diba? So you have to know that. Diba? Ano ba? Short term ka ba, medium term, or long term? Next is your risk appetite. Mas conservative ka ba? Mas medium levels or mas aggressive? Usually, di ba, textbook sabi na mas aggressive ka kapag younger ka. Bakit? Kasi wala ka pa masyadong financial. Of course, everyone has their own circumstances, but in more cases, wala ka pa masyadong financial responsibilities. You don't have kids to feed, don't have people to get through an education, don't have to pay for all of the bills. So, pwedeng mas agresibo ka. Di ba? Kasi if nawala mo lahat ng pera, which, syempre, ayaw natin mawala, if anyone of any age, but just in, let's say, for scenario na nag-start ka 50K, 18 years old, 19 na zero mo. Sipin mo lang, masakit siya. Pero 19 ka pa, right? Kaya mo pa bawiin yun. Pero kung ano ka naman, 50 years old, 5M pera mo, na zero mo, mas mahirap na yun. Kasi what if you have a family? What if you have this and that, right? But generally, that's what it is, right? Conservative, medium, or high risk. Or mas aggressive, di ba? Mas aggressive in trading approach. It doesn't mean na yung people na medyo mas matanda, older, right, than those in their early 20s, di pwede maging aggressive. Pwede naman, especially kung trader ka talaga, right? You're really passionate about what it is, right? Pwede yun, but just in general lang, right? Next is your ability to keep an eye on the markets. Kaya mo ba siya bantayan buong araw? Kaya mo bang tumingin-tingin, let's say, may 9 to 5 ka, pero kaya mo pa rin tumingin. May online class ka, pero kaya mo pa rin mag-trade. Or, is it na sobrang strict sa office, mahirap maging alt-tab warrior, diba, depending on your profession, let's say maybe, yun nga, very strict lang or binablock yung mga other sites sa office. So, that's one thing you need take into consideration. Next, yung mga circumstance natin sa buhay. What's our state in life? Are we, tinamaan ba tayo ng pandemya? Right? Tinamaan ba negosyo natin ng pandemic? Do we have a family? Are we single and still living with our parents and can still, right, focus on maximizing our own personal wealth? And then lastly, your personality. So, noon tataka rin ako ano relation ng personality ko sa pagbabuy and sell ko ng stocks, right? Ang pagpipili ko ng strategy na tama sa akin. It turns out, there's actually a lot to your personality that relates to how you're going to trade. Because it will show you kung anong strategy ka, saan mas comfortable, right? And if you're comfortable with a strategy, it's much easier to execute in my opinion. Hindi yung kinakabahan ka or hindi, kasi kapag hindi siya in line sa belief system mo and hindi siya in line sa personality mo, it's much harder to execute. Right? Okay. And now, and to summarize all of this, ano ba relate? Why do I need to know myself? Because trading is not just simply, di ba? Parang it's so easy to say na bibili ka lang tapos bibenta ka eh. But deep down, there's actually a lot of human factors and psychological factors that affect, di ba, yung trading. Di ba? Ika nga ni Jesse Livermore in his book, How to Trade in Stocks, pati yung parang biography niya na yung Reminiscences of a Stock Operator, what drives Wall Street is human emotion or human nature. And the reason why the market never changes is because human nature never changes, right? The markets will not change, but the pockets will. Right? So next, why do you need to, so that's number one, diba? We need to know ourselves based on those few things I believe that need to be taken into consideration. Next, why do you need to taste all the strategies? Ba't di na lang pwede? Ito, may natutunan na ako, buy on support, sell on resistance. Ito na lang ako, mukhang gumagana naman eh. So why do you need to taste all the strategies? So, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure at least 60% of the viewers tonight know who Gary Vaynerchuk is. So si Gary Vaynerchuk, marami akong natutunan sa kanya, di ba? In life. Siya yung dahilan kung bakit kung sino ako ngayon. So di siya kilala, I highly suggest you watch this video. So Gary Vaynerchuk, marami nagtatanong sa kanya, how do you, kasi he's a big advocate on going all in on your passion. Kaya ako nag-all in sa trading, di ba? So he's a big advocate of going all in on your passion. Diba? Doing what you're passionate about, aiming for happiness. So maraming tatanong sa kanya, how do I find what I'm passionate about? Because I don't really know what I want to do. Ang sagot niya is you have, and please excuse my language, you have to taste shit, sabi niya. You have to taste everything. And literally, ito yung example niya. You wouldn't know yung favorite food mo, hotdog, pag puro burger kinakain mo. You wouldn't know if you enjoyed surfing if all you did was cook. You wouldn't know if you enjoyed being an entrepreneur if you stuck to just having a job. Diba? Yun yung logic niya. And it really resonated with me pagdating sa tradings because you wouldn't know na mas gamay mo pala yung pagiging trend follower if you stick to just trading bounce trades. You wouldn't know na okay ka pala sa position trading pag puro swing trading lang ginagawa mo. So, it's really important for me when we choose a strategy, now we at least try everything out. Because doon natin ma-assess, okay ba to for me? Kaya ko ba mag-execute at a high level? Do I make majority of my money from this strategy? Kasi you have to compare. Okay, strategy A, B, C, D, E. Well, which one am I most comfortable with? Which one do I have the least stress with? Which one am I most capable to execute? Which one makes the most money? And this will take time, diba, to compile. Kasi you need a good amount of sample size per trade, per strategy. Pwede siguro 20 trades per 20, 30 trades per strategy, then assess mo, diba? And the two biggest things for me is number one, which one makes money, and number two, how well do you execute it? Diba? Because those go hand in hand. And then there are two trading approaches we can choose from. Number one is technical analysis, which majority of us already know. And second is fundamental analysis. And the reason why, of course, I'm bringing this up for the newbies out there. And we already have an old video of that, di ba? So, Investa University, kompleto yan. So, search nyo na lang, fundamental analysis versus technical analysis, di ba? May ginawang video si JC on that before, and then we already have individual classes for each approach. And then you have to choose then, anong style yung okay for me? So, we have momentum trading, position trading, bottom fishing, trend following, swing trading. Madaming styles. Ito lang yung in-include ko sa lesson ko before, which was this one, which is because ito yung common sa trading community natin dito sa Pilipinas. Diba? And why am I showing you all of this? It's because there is more than one way to skin the cat. There are so many styles and approaches available that there's not only one universally accepted, diba, trading style. There are a lot. There's more than one way to skin the cat. And walang tama, walang mali. What's important is what works for you, your circumstances, your goals, your risk appetite, your time horizon, and everything I mentioned a while ago. Diba? Kaya important na dadaanan ko to. So, ito na yung pinaka-meat, right, ng quick lesson ko today. What will happen if we don't know ourselves first and we don't try out all the strategies first? Diba? Let's say we just stuck to one strategy na, ito na ako, momentum, hindi ko na susubukan to, hindi ko na susubukan yan, I will just stick to this. Right? There's a possibility na we may be stuck with the wrong system for us or the wrong style or strategy for us. And now, what will this lead to if we're using, diba, the wrong system, the wrong strategy? And let me give an analogy. Imagine if you just stuck to doing whatever let's say for example, something you don't know pero pinlano ng universe sa'yo is dapat maging passionate ka sa trading. For example pero di mo pa alam yun. But at the moment, you are a engineer. I mean, this for example lang, there's nothing wrong with being an engineer. Example lang. And then you just kept going and going, diba? And you hindi ka masaya. But the problem is, you wouldn't find what you're passionate about, what brings you happiness. If you don't try different things. And which is why I believe we should try all the strategies so that we won't be stuck on a system na pwedeng mali. Kasi if it ain't broke, hindi naman inaayos eh. So at least, or if we don't open our eyes rather to other different systems, we wouldn't know na mali pala to para sa atin. Diba? So dapat open-minded tayo. So what will this lead to? So it will lead to a lot of things. But I just, on top of my mind, I listed out 7 things. Having the wrong system for you personally, that system may work for another person, but it might not work for you. That's why very confident mag-share sina Mark Minervini ng trading style nila or ni William O'Neill. There's a reason why. Kasi if gumagana yung strategy mo, ba't mo tuturo? Ba't di ka nalang maging madamot kung genius yung strategy mo? It's because not all strategies work for everyone. Why? Because there's a human factor to it. Yung iba, kaya mag-execute sa strategiya na yun at a high level. Bakit? Master nila, gamay nila, kaya ng emotion sila, kaya ng discipline nila, lakas sila mag-execute. But others naman, they're not able to do it at a high level. Bakit? Because it doesn't work for them. So using a wrong trading system or trading strategy may potentially lead to, number 1, fear-based execution, which leads to a lot of mistakes. So fear of missing out, fear of leaving money on the table, fear of being wrong, fear of losing money. Second, of course, is bad execution. If you can't execute, what's the point of having a specific strategy pa? Next, it may lead to impatience. Baka masyado ka nagmamadali sa pagbibili, sa pagbebenta. It may lead to overtrading kasi nabuburat ka na, di mo makuha ng tama. It may lead to oversizing, which comes from revenge trading because you keep getting losses because of the wrong system. Baka mainip ka, di ka na mag-cut loss. And overall, it will just lead to inconsistency in your performance. Okay? And this is just a few things. So let me give you guys a scenario. Teka, inom lang tubig. So let me give you guys a scenario. Sabihin natin, wala kang alam. pero alam mo lang momentum. Alam mo lang breakout. Wala ka ng ibang tinry aralin. Nakita mo, sabi ni ganito ganyan, breakout, ano yan, malupit, masaya, blah, blah, blah. And you never really took the opportunity to try out different strategies, and you just stuck to that. Diba? So here we see Ace in early July. Obviously, we see na it's forming a what? Some sort of pattern. A flag, pennant, continuation pattern. And then it broke out. Diba? So it was a clear buy signal at 2.4. We see volume at the end of the day, and we even see it break the previous swing high, which is obviously a sign of a potential new uptrend. And guys, huwag niyo isipin kung na 7 pesos na si Asian ngayon. Let's just be in the moment. So, for others, I'm sure for others here, parang no-brainer, bili, di ba? Parang, eto na yun breakout na. But I'm sure for a few who are here as well, at during this moment, let's say nangyari to, say nasa 2.4 na, kakabahan. Ay, paano pag naging fake out? Yan na, pupasok na yung mga ibang thoughts. Paano pag bumalik sa loob? Paano pag hindi pala legit? Or paano pag bukas biglang, mapotsu? Tapos, ay, mukhang masyado nang expensive. Kasi gusto ko 240 pero 250 nag-close. So there are thoughts like that coming in. Diba? But 2.4 was a clear buy signal. But I'm sure marami sa atin naka-experience yan na ang goal natin for the trade, when you created a trading plan, was to trade momentum. But when the moment arrived, we had a difficult time executing. And that can be for a few reasons. Number one, you have no mental preparation. That's a whole different lesson. You have no mental preparation. You weren't ready to execute. But number two is, baka mali yung system para sa'yo. For your personality, for your risk appetite, for your time horizon, for your life circumstances. Diba? So, I'm sure, may mga naka-experience yun na parang ang hirap bilhin. Ayan, nakitang-kita mo na kung textbook lang halata, pero when you're in the moment, mahirap. And then we see, of course, ASN going up. And then now, what happens is, we get biased na umakyat na, nakakainis. Dapat binili ko. Tapos yan, makita ka na rising wedge, bumagsak, masaya ka na, mukhang magbe-breakdown na kasi nag-miss out ka eh. So, di ba, may mga ganyan, buti nga, bumagsak ka, blah, blah, blah. And then we see it, di ba, break out to new high again. Nakakainis. Parang hirap bilhin. If you had a hard time buying it at a lower price, where you were supposed to buy it, you'll have a much harder time buying it here. But if the system worked for you, this is actually a continuation pattern which should give you another entry opportunity. But if the system doesn't work for you, what goes in your mind? Ang hirap na bilhin. Ang mahal na. Baka mauntog na. So titingin ka sa bigger picture, sa monthly. Sa tres na pala, ang daming resistance. Mukhang uuntog na sa tres. Yung presyo, 289 na. So 11 cents na lang, GG na yan. But for someone who has the eye or the experience or someone who has breakout methods working for them, what do they see in this chart? They see a chart that's at an all-time high, volumes coming in, there's a catalyst, and potentially the PSEI might recover, which it did, and here's a big potential move, all-time high. But for someone who doesn't, who's not comfortable with that strategy, this looks like an area to sell. Okay, so, and then eventually, nag-break out nga. And this is, again, to some of us here, this is a clear buy signal. Correct. This is a clear buy signal. Breakout, di ba? But for others, na siya? Parang, nakita ko yan, 240, di ko binili. Nakita ko yan, 280, di ko binili. 3, baka mauntog na yan. Dati nauntog eh. Yung mga thoughts na yan, pumapasok na. Right? And then if we fast forward some more, di ba, Ace N just continued to go higher, continued to give more opportunities. And yung trader natin, scenario natin, di ko masabi kung mabibili na yan kasi sa tres pa lang, sabi niya, mahal na. Diba? But these kinds of opportunities, right? Sobrang, to someone who likes trading breakouts or who has a trend following method or likes to go for momentum, these are obvious plays. But for someone who's more comfortable trading the bounce or trading the reversals, it's kind of hard to trade. It looks expensive. And then as you already know, from these points, Ace N went up 115% and 74% respectively. And sometimes yung trader natin na nahihirapan mag-execute primarily because in this situation, let's assume na he's using the wrong system. Saan pa siya bibili? 'Di ba? Dito. Kasi now he or she is finally convinced na mukhang to the moon na nga. Mukhang game time, show time na. And bumibili sa tuktok. Bakit? Because now they're executing out of fear of missing out, out of FOMO. And guys, I'm not saying this is the top of Ace N. I don't know where the top's gonna be, but let's just assume lang. So that's a scenario of what may happen if we don't, diba? If we don't have the proper strategy that works for us. Let me give another example. Let's say ito si VUL. So ito si VUL, it's the same thing. You see a coupled handle, and if you watch the previous lessons, diba? Ito yung maganda sa market leaders. We have a low volume consolidation followed by a high volume breakout. So we have an obvious buy signal here, diba? 160. Even broke above the previous swing high. Again, for someone who, yung breakouts, hindi siya gamay doon, hindi siya komportable, hindi siya parang nasa opisina, 9 to 5, tas momentum. Pag momentum, kailangan medyo tutok ka unless meron kang, of course, automatic breakout orders, pero kung wala, kailangan medyo tutok ka. Di ba? Kahit may Investa watcher ka, you still need to execute. Shout out sa Investa Prime users natin dyan. So now, we see a breakout. Clear buy signal for a lot of us, right? Low volume conso, high volume breakout. Classic. But to someone who's forcing him or herself to trade momentum, who is not open-minded to see the other opportunities, right? Mahirap pa ito bilhin. Bakit? Ay, mahal na yan. Sana dito pa ako bumili sa conso. Kasi if you were a position trader, dito ka bibili talaga sa conso, maghahanap ka ng key support levels dyan. Dito sa area to, mag-accumulate ka, okay yun. But you wouldn't know na position trading yung para sa'yo. Diba? If through breakouts lang yung titira mo, you weren't open-minded to learning a different strategies or to trying them out. Diba? Yung pala, yung personality mo was chill ka lang, ayaw mo ng aggressive, tapos circumstances mo is may 9 to 5, di maka-alta warrior. Diba? So now we have a misconnect between the strategy and the self, the person. Diba? Personality, circumstance are not in line with the strategy. So now what does our trader do, our hypothetical trader? Now, yung ginagawa niya is he or she is now looking for reasons kung bakit okay lang nga din niya binili. Diba? Ay guys, teka. So now, hinahanap ng rason kung bakit okay na hindi bumili. And the reason that the trader came up with was, ay, ano pala, bearish divergence, di na ako bibili. So hopefully you guys know how to use RSI already. Bearish divergence, mukhang fake to. And it just so happens na in the next couple of days, hindi siya tumuloy. But, hindi na siya bumaba below the breakout point. Nag-retest lang. So healthy signs yan actually. And here's the thing. VUL, as we may already know, actually, all the way it went up almost 70%, the whole time may bear div. Diba? Late na siya and the only time it broke down was when my third telco cheche bureche na. So bakit ganun? Bear div, tumuloy. Bakit? Because guys, always remember, a bearish divergence doesn't necessarily mean that na babagsak na yung stock. It may mean a short counter trend move in the opposite direction. In this case, bear div, so pababa. Pero pwedeng pullback lang yun. Something I learned from Open Journal was, you can say that the bearish divergence will lead to a reverse of the trend if it's multiple long-term bearish divergences. Bearish divergence in the weekly, monthly chart, or may multiple bear divs on the daily, diba, over a bigger picture. But in this case, kung malakas talaga yung stock, malakas talaga yung market, malakas talaga yung catalyst. Usually, hindi na walang palag yung bear div doon. 'Di ba? Kapag malakas talaga yung stock, yung demand pa rin yung magbubuhat diyan. So 70% move. Right? And I bet all throughout this move, yung trader natin hirap bumili, hirap maghanap ng opportunity kahit maraming obvious entry points. Bakit? Kasi nga hindi nga para sa kanya yung system na yun. And he or she was able to find or was able to, 'di ba, know themselves prior to using strategy. Here, let me give you another example. Ito si nickel. So as you all know, as you all can see, nickel is an obvious downtrend, right? Very obvious. From 5, nag-150. So in the eye of someone who likes to trade uptrends, who likes to trade momentum on the upside, who likes to trend follow, wala to, potso to, di ba? But to the eye of someone who likes to trade reversals, likes to trade the bounce, this is an opportunity, right? And so I bet to others who are watching this, let's say uptrend, ano ka lang, di ba? Breakout, momentum, pangit to para sa'yo. Diba? Totoo naman eh. Hindi siya maganda tignan. Downtrend, ba't ako titira ng downtrend? Basic lesson is the trend is your friend, di ba? Stick with the predominant trend, which in this case is a downtrend. And since we can't short in the Philippines, the best we can do is avoid, di ba? If yun yung mindset natin. But to someone who trades bounces, reversals, position trades, this is what? Attractive. Bakit? Because even if we zoom in, we see, okay, it's at support levels, looks like the downtrend's becoming a sideways trend. And if we bring it out to the bigger picture, we see na it's already at an all-time low support level. To someone who trades 52-week highs, pangit to, 52-week low. All-time low pa nga eh. Kung nag-breakdown yan, GG na, ba't katitira yan? But to someone who likes trading the bounce, who likes position trading, who likes trading the reversals, this becomes a buy signal. So for us, for the other spectrum who sees this as something you should avoid, there's another spectrum who sees this as a potential opportunity. And here's the thing, wala namang tama, wala namang mali. Right? It depends on what works for you. It depends on what allows your judgment to be at its highest level. Right? So now, if we move forward to what happened, right? As we can see, si nickel nag-breakout siya. Right? We see nickel nag-breakout siya. And now, this has finally become what? Attractive to the momentum traders, the trend followers, kasi nag-breakout siya from a major consolidation. But to the bounce traders, to the reversal traders, TP na yan, yung 180 to 190. Sorry, medyo sinisipon ako. Diba? So, nakikita nyo ba guys, parang, as I mentioned in the previous lesson, based on the strategy we choose, diba? Parang, ang cool eh. Kung gamay ka sa bounce, sa reversal, sobrang attractive nito para sa'yo, itong level. But, at this level, sa 180, mahal na yan sa'yo, benta ka na 30%. But to another person, dito pa lang nagiging attractive. Nakikita nyo na, again, a lot of it is driven by human nature and what works for you. Diba? We all, based on the strategy we choose, we all operate in a specific spectrum of a stock's life cycle. And dapat, syempre, hindi ma-bad trip. If you're a day trader, making a 7% gain is good na. Hindi ka pwede ma-bad trip pag umakyat na 30%. Bakit? Kasi you chose to choose a specific strategy. If a stock goes up, for example, trend follower, pero di mo na pero yung pala mauuntog lang tas mabebentahan ka agad. So maliit lang profit mo, 8% lang for example, pero yung peak 20%. Pero it only closed below your moving average nung nag-break below, nung 8% gain ka na lang, pwede ma-bad trip. Bakit? Because as a trend follower, yun yung pros and cons nun. Diba? So, yeah. Let's move forward to another example. Let me show you guys a similar chart. MWC. Last year, diba, grabe binakrak yan. 75% pantuloy-tuloy, puro red candles. Diba? So, all-time low na siya at this point. And to someone who wants to avoid downtrends, who wants to pass on catching the falling knife, syempre, ano yung gagawin? Avoid. But to someone who understands that panic is an opportunity, where panic in the market is actually an opportunity, and nakikita na yung volume, nakikita na yung intraday pattern, this can actually, di ba, be a setup na gusto nila. Di ba? So for others, pangit. Okay lang. For others, malaking opportunity. Right? And lalo na when these two candles came in, so parang okay, nag-recover na, people are panicking, people are panic selling, here's the opportunity now, prices are cheap, sa intraday mukhang nagbabounce na. Right? And as we all know, yan, lakas nga ng bounce ni MWC. But for the breakout traders, right, dito pa lang siya naging buy signal. Sa daily, once it broke out of 10 pesos, tapos yan nauntog na sa 14. So why am I showing you guys all of these scenarios, all of these examples? It's so makita nyo yung importance ng pag-taste ng lahat. Because for someone who's di ba nakita yung example si Asen kanina, for someone who just keeps sticking to breakouts, di ba? Tapos hindi naman pala para sa'yo yun. Tapos di ka naging open-minded para matutunan o masubukan yung iba. Wala na, mahihirapan ka maging consistent tsaka profitable. And then to someone who keeps trying to trade the bounce, pero hirap, parang pag bumabagsak yung presyo, kinakabahan. Diba? Kahit mag-bounce na, kinakabahan pa rin, hindi pa rin mabili. Edi, diba, what's gonna happen? You're gonna give up immediately on the strategy, and you might even give up on trading. Right? And ano yung mga examples ko dito? What does this mean? Yung mga ganyan, dito attractive sa reversal people, dito attractive sa breakout people. This goes to show na again, we operate in specific life cycles of the stock depending on our chosen strategy. And wala tama, walang mali. Diba? So let me move forward. So for someone who keeps trying to trade the bounce pero di naman pala komportable dun, diba? And tinatry, pilitin, paulit-ulit, kinakabahan, di ka talaga makaka-execute ng tama. So again, ulitin ko lang. Choosing the wrong system. And how can you choose the wrong system? It's when you don't, diba, reflect and try to know yourself. When you don't reflect and try to understand what your goals are, what's your time horizon, what's your risk appetite, what's your circumstances, what's your personality. And then you don't try the different systems. You just stick with one. Di mo naman alam kapag okay ka doon. Kasi di mo naman in-reflect yung sarili mo. Di mo yung sinubukan yung iba. Again, it will lead to fear-based and bad execution. FOMO, fear of missing out, fear of leaving money on the table, fear of being wrong, fear of losing money, which can hinder your execution. It will lead to impatience, right? It will lead to overtrading, oversizing, not cutting your losses, inconsistency in general. So now, sa Investa-U, we want to help you guys identify what is the right trading profile for you. Diba? And ikaw lang talaga makakalaman, but actually, we've prepared 3 different profiles, personas, based on our assessment on the trading community we have now. And to know, tatlo, diba? And to identify kung alin ka sa tatlong ipapakita ko, meron kaming hinandang exam, parang hindi naman siya mahirap na exam, wala naman tama, there's no right or wrong questions, and which we will be releasing, I'm not sure the exact date, but probably next week or ASAP, kasi kailangan yun for the next lesson, which will hopefully help you identify ano nga ba yung style para sa'yo. And then, we will be teaching trading styles, strategies, or systems, whatever you want to call it, based on yung strategy na yun, or yung profile mo. So you can choose to say, eto ka, you're the breadwinner. Mamaya ko na-explain ko ano yan. Meron kaming hinanda na trading system para dito, na suitable for the breadwinner. But it doesn't mean you can't watch the other lessons on the other strategies kasi baka mas okay pala yun sa inyo. But yun lang yung parang flow natin dito sa Investa-U. So, first, trading profile mo, we'll identify it through the lesson, and then we'll be teaching systems. You can choose to watch all of the systems, all of the types of trading systems we will be teaching, or you can just stick to one that's dedicated to your trading profile. So first, the breadwinner. So the breadwinner is basically the investor who has a full-time job, but has spare time or kaya mag-alt tab during the markets. Diba? So medyo parang mix and mix, 50% focus on the job, 50% focus on the markets. So, ang klaseng tao na to, just to quick overview lang, parang holding period, medyo medium term, di siya sobrang active na trader, tumitingin sa bigger picture, end of day mag-execute. Risk tolerance, medyo hindi siya sobrang high. Diba? Di siya titira ng extended na, di siya titira ng intraday, let's say ceiling play intraday, 1 minute, di siya titira ng ganun. Effort will be somewhere, I mean, I like to say that effort will always be maximum. But just for the sake of discussion, the effort will be somewhere close to the high range, but I always like to say the effort should be at the highest. And then yung method, parang middle of funda and tech. So funda tech approach. Next is the passive panda. So ba't panda nga ba ginagamit namin? Kasi cute siya. And kapag trader, sweet lover, cute, the joke. Kapag trader, wala lang kasi yung panda matagal namin, diba? Parang, matagal nang, kaya pala parang weird yung polo ko. Parang mali yung pag-button ko. Yun yung parang profile pic mo kapag hindi ka pa, wala ka pang profile pic, diba? So now, teka, AC ko na yung camera ko. Weird pala. Ay, mas weird ngayon, teka. Ano ba? Ba't ganun? Teka. Sorry. So ngayon, yung passive panda, this is someone who, obviously ngayon, long-term na. There's someone who focus on the long term, right? Focus on the fundamentals, focus on the business side of things, diba? And mas focus sa main career, mas focus say entrepreneur, mas focus sa career basically, but will still like to have a profitable investment methodology. Not someone who blindly invests, but someone who has a simple strategy that works, that takes advantage of bigger term trends like in the weekly, monthly charts and uses a longer term moving average like the 100-day or 200-day moving average. So ito, mas low risk your appetite. More on, gusto lang dito parang matalo inflation or accumulate your wealth for the long run, for the long period of time without having to keep looking at the markets every day. Holding period, long term, effort, low, but I like to say keep the effort high still. Method, mostly leaning towards fundamentals. Lastly is the hustler. The hustler, ito na yung parang ako, diba, na hindi man, when I say short term, again, dito day in, day out. Parang pwedeng weeks maghawak, pwedeng months. Pero hindi ako years maghawak. Longest holding ko ata 6 to 8 months na. So, mas short term yung approach. Hindi mas short term, but gets yun na yun. Risk tolerance, medyo leaning towards the higher edge, di ba? Pag IPO, mag-1 minute chart. Pag may ceiling play, titirahin. Pag may plano, effort is high. But again, I like to say all the effort should be the high range method. Majority technicals. Diba? So, the hustler is someone who wants to, diba, make trading as a living. Yun yung goal. Alright, so, to summarize, well, not to summarize, I still have a lot to say. So now, by knowing ourselves, what will we be able to do? Number one, we will be able to choose the right system. So we know ourselves, we try out the systems, we know what makes money for us, and we know number two, what helps us, what system we can execute at a high level. Because ideas without execution, wala lang yun. A system without proper execution, wala lang yun. Diba? And third, we trust ourselves during the tough moments. Kasi, ito na yun eh. If we choose a system, or systems, right? Pwedeng 1, pwedeng 2, kabahala. We need to learn to know how to stick with them because they won't work in every market environment. Like for example, nung March ba? Nung nagbe-breakdown, nung nagka-crash yung market, gagana ba yung breakout strategy? Siyempre hindi, mababa yung chance. But for the past 4, 5, 6 weeks of PSE, gagana ba yung breakout strategy? Yeah. Kasi bakit? Ala sa market. So we need to understand na the system won't always be profitable at a high level. There will be moments na mahirap siya or hindi ganun kataas yung accuracy rate, hindi ganun kataas yung average win rate, yung average profits mo. But we trust the system enough not to just throw it away and choose another one. Parang ay, di gumagana dito ako. Ay, ayaw na, dito na lang ako. Because we understand that this is what works for us and this is what we execute at a high level. So even if there are moments na hindi yung system, hindi siya para sa market environment, we just don't give up on it. Next, we avoid making the deadliest mistakes traders can make, which are those which I mentioned a while ago. And then now we can focus on the bigger picture. We can focus on not trying to just make money day in and day out, but trying to focus on being in the stock market or any market for as long as possible. Trying to be in for longevity, yung tipong hindi tayo ma-wipe out. Alright, now it's time to end. Before I move on to Q&A, it's time to answer the age-old question na tinatanong natin lahat. Should we focus on one system or should we master all systems or all strategies? To rephrase the question, should we practice one kick 1,000 times or should we be like water and learn how to adapt? Kasi ito na yun eh. Yan na talaga yung tanong eh pagdating sa systems, sa strategies. And the answer is, Chong, ikaw bahala. So, bakit ikaw bahala? It's because it really depends what works for you eh. Some people like to have a niche. Some people like to master a kick 1,000 times. Some people like to focus on what works for them, while some people like to adapt. Some people like to be able to trade whether the market is in a sideways trend, a downtrend, or an uptrend. And that's okay. But for example, let me give you a personal example. When I used to trade the PSE and the global market sabay, sa PSE, I would be like water. I would adapt to the environment. Bakit? Kasi onti lang yung opportunity sa Pilipinas. Especially pag pangit yung market. So, I need to be able to trade reversals if the market is giving me reversals. I need to be able to trade quick momentum plays, yung hindi ko trend follow, if the market is showing me na yung mga breakouts, walang follow through. But in the US, I can't be like water. Bakit? Kasi there's so many stocks. Diba? And it's so hard to screen through all of them. So I decided in the US, I would master one kick 1,000 times. I would only trade one setup, which is focusing on growth stocks, all-time highs, 52-week highs, market leaders. Di ako tumitira ng reversal. And that's what worked for me. So now the question is, what works for you? Based on, hopefully if you guys take the test, you get to know your trader's profile and you learn the different systems. But you don't have to be, obviously, guys, teka, kate ilong ko, di ko maintindihan. You don't have to be tied up to one system. If you want to be like water, muzzle tough. Learn all the 3 systems that will be taught for free, di ba? But if you want to, and usually yung mga kaya mag-be like water, yung talagang passionate, yung talagang active na trader. But if you just want to focus on a setup that you think will work for you, that you're comfortable, ito yung problema kasi when people want to be like water, pero yung pala, yung iba, they keep losing money when they try to trade the bounce. That's why I don't trade the bounce. I trade reversals, but I don't catch the low. I catch some continuation pattern in the meat of the low. Right? So I stopped trading bounces. Bakit? Kasi di ako magaling eh. Di lang talaga siya para sa akin. Parang, di ba yung iba, kita mo, yan na, may mga nagkahanap na ng support, may fibs, whatever. Ako di ako marunong gumamit ng Fibonacci. I mean, marunong naman. Di ba? Pero hindi na siya para sa akin. That's why I stopped trading the bounce. Because historically, based on my journal, I lose money. So ano ba yan? Quitter ba ako? Di ba ako? Ano ba yan? Potso naman to si Toma. Quitter ka agad. Di man sinubukan matutunan. Like I said, ikaw bahala. Right? And it was my decision to focus on my grade A setup which I can execute at a higher level. In the case when I was still trading in the PSE, which was momentum trend following position trading. Tapos in the US, yun nga, I was focused on one setup. Kasi minsan talaga pag malakas yung market sa US, mas marami pang mag all-time high kaysa buong number of stocks sa Pilipinas. So, mas maraming opportunities. So, that's my answer to that question. So, again, you want to master a kick 1,000 times? Be my guest. You want to be like water and adapt to the environment? Be my guest. But the only thing I would want for you guys is to know yourselves. To know yourselves and to try out the strategies to hopefully find the one that works for you, the one that becomes your bread and butter, the one that makes you the money, and hopefully that will help all of us achieve consistency and profitability together. So Alright, so saan na muna ako. So yeah, nakakatawa, no? Pwede mong trash talkin itong dalawa eh. Focus on one system, ano ba yan? One trick pony ka lang pala eh. Or master all systems, ano ba yan? Jack of all trades, master of none. So, I mean, wala talagang tama, wala talagang mali eh. So, it really depends on you. Right? So, guys, before I end, meron lang ako gusto i-share sa inyo lahat. So, teka. Ano ba to? So, guys, I just want to share, right, before I move on to Q&A, I'd like to invite everyone to join. I'm sure you know we're having our upcoming event called the Investa-Fest 2021. Kung may magkatanong magkano, this is absolutely free. So this is going to be the biggest business and financial literacy event in the country. Just head over to instagrams.com/investafest. We've invited some of the best speakers in each of their respective industries, whether it's business, finance, entrepreneurship, trading, investing, etc. We have speakers like RJ Ledesma, Francis Kong, Aya Laraya, Chris Mangun, of course JC. I don't know if you guys know The Present, si Jan Ocampo, very solid guy in the community. So, and that's just, I think, what, 1/3 of the lineup. Sobrang dami pa nating i-invite na malupit na speakers. And again, this is free. This is just because we want to, impact the lives of more and more Filipinos. So hopefully you guys can attend. But again, it's free. And hopefully you guys can invite your friends to attend. Again, it's free. So kita-kits tayo dyan, hopefully. Alright. Tapos, medyo weird, no? Ako pa-plug ko sarili ko, but I'm having what we call an ELCS, but di ako coach, yun lang yung pangalan. I'm going to share, my topic is trading psychology, how to survive in the market, something like that. And this is going to be my first time where I talk about trading psychology, because I've really started to dwell deep on this topic, especially during the pandemic. And it really helped me execute a lot of my trades at a high level. So I'll just try to share this with you guys. So, yun. Alright, I'll take this out. So, guys, invite ko lang din kayo mag-subscribe sa Investa TV sa YouTube. Okay. So, before we end, baka you guys have any questions na I can answer. So, yes, sabi ni walang kwentang trader, free ang Investa-Fest. Yes, libre yung Investa-Fest. Well, merong VIP. Siyempre, mas solid yung VIP. Pero, libre din siya. May option na libre. Alright, guys. Do you guys have any questions na baka pwede kong sagutin before we end the lesson today? Investa-Fest is online, by the way. So, sabi ni Delma Marie, is there going to be a lesson on price action? Meron na. So, we've taught that already in our technical analysis modules. So, just head over to Investa TV on YouTube, and then, yun, puno na yan. Madaming technical analysis doon. Alright, so I'll just answer a few questions, okay? So, pasilip daw ng IRC. Bukas, boss, if time permits, I will do a charting session. Tapos, topic daw sana for those who may balak mag-trade for a living. Well, of course, I can't answer this because I don't trade for a living. But we'll see, maybe, hindi naman siya siguro isang buong topic, but more on things you need to consider if you want to do it. Or maybe we can hear sa Deep Pockets, sa Conversations with Traders, in Deep Pockets podcast. Dami na ako tinanong yung mga full-time traders kung, ano ba, madali lang ba? O dapat ba gawin ng mga tao? Talaga bang yayaman kayo dito? And they give different answers and different things you need to take into consideration. So I suggest you head over to the Deep Pockets podcast and check their answers out. Yung strategies ginagamit ko, since I just trade the US, I just use one. So medyo ako ngayon, master one kick. Bakit ako nag-choose mag-trade ng US market? Well, personal preference lang, mas maraming opportunity sa US. Pero ngayon, mas malakas yung PSE kaysa sa US, to be honest. But medyo tugma din siya sa lifestyle ko eh. Parang in the night, I can trade. In the morning, I can work. I can work for Investa. So, medyo tugma din siya sa lifestyle ko. Teka. Ito si Boss Oliver tanong. So Toma, any advice para sa isang seaman na gusto maging trader? Limited lang kasi internet connection sa barko. Sana mapansin, salamat. So ang suggestion ko dyan is to focus on bigger picture trades, diba? Given again, ito maganda, we're trying to understand the circumstance natin. Right? And that's good. We understand na number one, mahina yung internet connection, so pero gusto natin maging trader. So now we need to adjust. We need to choose a strategy na mas bigger picture yung approach. Na hindi na nag-focus sa weekly chart or sa mga all-time high plays, bigger picture plays. Tapos sana lagi may auto-cut yung broker, ganun. So ngayon, we need to choose a strategy na hindi kailangan lagi in and out, hindi kailangan lagi magbantay. If you can find the time to check the markets at least at the end of the day. So ngayon, that's at 1 p.m., diba? So mga lunchtime, hopefully okay yun. But if internet is really off and on, I suggest having a longer term approach, diba? So we'll be teaching a strategy na pang long-term investor approach din. Kadalong ko. Diba? Wait. Daming tanong, teka. Ito sabi ni Gen B, paano ma-lessen yung emotions and pagiging subjective sa trading? So this is actually something na you work on over time eh. It took me a while. I would say I've better handled emotions and pagiging subjective just a couple of months ago. And I'm still learning. Mahirap siya eh. To handle it, you need to put yourselves through situations where it can be at its highest and try to control it. You need to know yourself, you need to reflect, you need to have proper mental preparation. And this is actually something I'm going to be sharing dun sa quote-unquote coaching session, but di naman ako coach, for the Investa Prime Elite subscribers. So, if gusto nyo sumali dun na live session, subscribe lang sa Investa Prime Elite. Boss, paano di mo overwhelm sa different trading styles? Tipong exploration phase pa lang. I would say trade the smaller size, diba? So you can try virtual trading muna with the strategies, or you can try wag masyadong heavy sa mga ini-explore mo pala na bago setup. Parang lagay ka lang na maliit, let's say 100k portfolio mo, wag ka maglagay ng 30k na 30% doon. Lagay ka lang 5,000, 8,000 just to try it out, diba? So you need to put your toe in the water. You need to try it out. So you can do virtual, you can do small allocations sa totoong pera. Kailan daw yung sharing session lang tawag ko, sharing session. December, so there's 50 slots left. December 5. I think it's on December 5. That's a Saturday. Para mas marami maka-attend na live. Saturday afternoon, December 5. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I think I've answered sabi ni Raymond, Dodota sana ako, nakita ko live pala, nood na lang, natuto pa. Solid. Thanks, boss. Hopefully, nakaambag ako sa'yo. Sabi ni walang kwentang trader, Boss Toma, if breakout trading, how do you add more shares? I think there's been discussions on this, lalo na kay JC in the risk management lesson when it comes to position sizing and tranching. So, you can just check that out siguro. He always gives a better explanation than me when it comes to tranching, because I also learned it from him. Alright, so guys, I'll answer one last question and then I think I'm gonna have to go kasi sad na lamunan ko and I've discussed na yung kailangan discuss. So, and bukas baka mag-charting session pa ako. So, alam mo na, kailangan i-save yung boses, dami pang i-record na video, tsaka deep pockets. So, what's your advice for someone who's considering trading the global markets? How do you select stocks to trade? Katanayalong ko. How do you select stock? Okay. So my advice is, I made a video on this sa Investa-TV, parang 5 things you need to have before you begin trading the global markets. So ang common kasi dyan is, tanong, yung system ba na ginagamit ko sa Pilipinas, gagana ba sa global markets? The answer is yes. Technical analysis works in any market. Diba? The fundamental price driver of cryptocurrency is different from stocks, but technical a breakout is a breakout. Diba? Next, kailangan ko ba magpuyat? The answer is no. Well, some people like to be zombie mode tapusin yung US market, but in different platforms like eToro, XM, Interactive Brokers, Ami Broker, Ameritrade, you can set automatic orders, which is something I also do para hindi ako sobrang puyat. Diba? Auto cut, auto buy, auto sell. Next, paano ba mag-screen dyan? Yes, that is one of the most difficult things sa una. Because di ka pa familiar sa mga stocks. Alam mo lang, sina Amazon, Netflix, pagdating biglang may FTCH, may NEO, may CDNS, may mga stocks na di ka familiar sa stock code, LMND, TTD, SQSE, DOCU. So it's really just being in the markets, right? Being there, identifying the leaders, masanay ka rin sa mga pangalan, have a watch list na medyo mahaba para balik-balikan mo, and then just, focus on a strategy and screen for that strategy. Paano mag-screen ng global markets? Maraming available dyan, si Investa Screener din meron, kapag Investa Elite subscriber ka, merong global screener. Diba? So how do I select my stocks to trade based on my strategy and based on my screening using the Investa Screener Plus? Yun yung pinipili ko, then naghahanap pala ako ng setup. Okay. So guys, yeah. Na ako. Ito. Magandang tanong ni Ace. Boom, boom. Natatalo ka pa ba, sir? Palagi. Walang trader na hindi natatalo. Unless nag-all-in ka 3 beses, dumakpat ka lahat, nag-100%, di ka nag-trade forever. Walang trader na hindi natatalo. Walang trader na, porket gano'ng kalupit, hindi na nag-miss, hindi ako malupit hindi nag-miss out sa trades, hindi nagkakamali, hindi nalulosing streak. Natatalo pa ako, all the time. Well, di naman all the time, but I still have my moments na I make the basic mistakes, parang nag-oversize ako, or nag-undersize ako, or na-FOMO ako. I mean, walang perfect. That's why I said na, until now, I'm still trying to master the craft, diba? And I feel like, and I know pala na I will continue to be mastering this craft probably until the day I die, because I'm really passionate and committed to it. So it's really an ongoing process of improvement. Even the best traders, even the market wizards, always try to find ways to improve, and they always make mistakes. Just as early as 2020, Stan Druckenmiller, diba? Early on, I think no June pa lang, he thought the market was going to top in the US, and he missed out on a lot of opportunities. And up lang siya mga 3 or 15%. Basta maliit lang. For a market wizard, he parang na-miscalculate niya kung malakas ba yung market or something. So, he made a mistake. And he missed out on a lot of opportunities. But I'm sure nakabawi na siya. Yun pa. Stan Druckenmiller, sobrang malupit na tao. Please don't quote me on that scenario. I forgot if that was him or something. Basta someone na magaling. Or I remember maybe, what's a nice story? But yeah, a lot of people still make mistakes. No matter how long you've been in the markets or how long you've been trading, marami talagang moments na marami ka pa rin matututunan. And I'm always there pa rin. So yun. Hopefully, marami kayong tutunan today, guys. Hopefully, naka-provide ako value sa inyo. And I'm gonna have to, weird pa na nang nakalabas sa screen, ikaw bahala pa rin nakalagay. Sorry. Mukha ko na lang. So yeah, hopefully marami kayo natutunan. I was able to answer majority of the questions na medyo mas interesting. And gusto ko lang magpasalamat sa lahat na nanood. Good luck. Alam ko holiday bukas, so good luck sa upcoming trading week. And I wish you guys all the best. Have a great night. Enjoy the long weekend. And we'll see you guys in the next Investa University lesson. So good night and goodbye. Okay, bye-bye. Ay, di ko pa pala na-end. Teka. Okay, bye-bye, bye-bye. Good night, bye-bye. Subscribe to Investa TV on YouTube. Love you all. Bye-bye.